Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So just first things first, I'm currently in the middle of moving. That's why the background looks like this. It's going to look like this for the next couple of videos. But yeah, anyway, so this video is going to be a quick tips video. So the video is just be pretty short, just going over a specific topic, which today will be top tips for prototyping your board game. Now this isn't going to be related to game design in particular or game design practices. It is more practical. So when you're prototyping your board game, either physically or on Tabletop Simulator, these three things which you should definitely stick to will hold up for either physical or digital. So the first thing is make sure everything is already the correct size, like straight away. Some people, I was prone to doing this when I first started out. I would just make something which, like a card, for example, I'd make it in Photoshop look like, this is what a card probably looks like. These are the right dimensions. Or maybe I was making like a unique looking card or something like that. Especially when starting out and you don't have too much experience, either choose a bridge size or poker size card. And you can Google what those dimensions are. I'm pretty sure poker is 63.5 by 88.8 or 63.3, something like that, millimeters. But yeah, anyway, make sure you've got those figured out. And then also look at, okay, what size tokens do I want? Usually you're looking at a 1-inch token or like a 2 centimeter token, depending on obviously the size of the tokens. If you're going for more of a huge 4x game, then you might be looking at like a 2-inch token, that kind of thing. But once you have those figured out, use those dimensions when actually creating the components, and then make sure any boards which you use, like player boards or like player mats or maybe like a big board that everyone's playing on, make sure they fit the components from the beginning. This is just all to save you from doing extra work down the line. And then also when it comes to physical playtests, actually having a fully representative version of your game in real life on the table is really helpful, because you don't want to make a game and then turns out it's got to be like twice the size and then it doesn't fit any standard table out there. So yeah, next one is save everything in an editable format straight away. This is something which, if you don't know, every year I teach a module at the University of Huddersfield called Concept Development 1, which is all about making a board game. It's about teaching fundamental game design, and to do that you make a board game. And the amount of students which save, I mean, I used to do this as well when I was starting out making games, save everything as like a PNG or a JPEG and not as a PSD, not as an editable format. This is talking in Photoshop terms. But any sort of graphic editing software that you use, make sure you save every single thing in an editable format as well as a JPEG or a PNG, just because it'll save you so much time later on. It is such a no-brainer now, but back at the beginning I was like, I'm not going to need to edit this. This is fine, or this is fine. No, save every single thing as a PSD. Finally, use RGB and then later convert to CMYK. This is important because mainly because of the new digital age that we're in when it comes to board games. Probably 10 years ago, well, we're getting on a bit now, maybe 15 years ago, you think, there's no point ever using RGB. But you're going to be wanting to be sharing your work digitally, whether it's in Tabletop Simulator or just on like Discord or a forum or, like Reddit or something like that. And you're going to want it to be representative. So having it in RGB is going to be really helpful for that, because make sure all the colors are correct in digital. If you've ever saved something in CMYK before and then tried to distribute it digitally, it looks off, it looks wrong. And so making sure that it's in RGB and then later you convert it to CMYK is probably best. I wouldn't recommend converting it to CMYK on at the same time as RGB, just because bringing it back to the PSD suggestion, which I just said, where everything needs to be editable, the idea is that you're probably going to be changing these files over and over and over again. So saving them as two different types every single time is probably going to be a bit of a pain. And what you can do is you can just open up a canvas later on, making sure it's the exact same size as the component, and just drag the RGB PNG onto the new canvas, and that canvas is formatted to CMYK, and then it'll just convert it for you, and it'll be fine. So yeah, those are my 3 things, and yep, trying to keep this video as short as possible, so I'm just going to end it there. Thank you guys for watching, hopefully enjoyed, and I shall see you in the next one. Goodbye.